It's time for the next episode of the Christian Principles Timeline series, this time, December.
This episode of the Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation. And as always, the views and opinions expressed within this podcast are those of your hosts and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation. Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
And your voice is hurting.
It's not great.
That's okay. I'll talk for plenty of us tonight. We'll make this happen still. I'm Mark Zockoll. It's good to be here with you. It is time for another Principle Timeline series month looking ahead. We'll be depositing this episode into your ear holes on November the 24th, Lord willing. So we have December in our sights. December, what a great month. We are getting festive. We have a high energy in this month. We are hopefully being extremely intentional about seeing everything from second quarter grades go in and promises made to donors being completed. There's just so much. There's so much that's going on in December. And like in May, we say don't put anything else in May. Well, December could be like the precursor to May. Don't put anything else in December. Plenty of things going on in December. Absolutely. Matt, why don't you go ahead and see if your voice will hang up through these or hold up through the day observances of December.
Yeah. As we start out to December, we got a little bit of Thanksgiving hanging on, right? Mm-hmm. As December 1st rolls around, we've got Cyber Monday this year in 2025. Cyber Monday, a lot of good deals online, especially for schools. I always have teachers like, ooh, what's out there on Cyber Monday? So looking for that. Giving Tuesday is a generally newer thing that's been going on, but perhaps your school as a nonprofit has organized some fundraising. It's a great opportunity. A lot of institutions do this. So that's December 2nd in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
December 7th, a date which shall live in infamy. But it's also Sunday. But Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. And we won't let the Steelers-Ravens overshadow that this year.
No, we'll not do that.
No,
we'll not do that.
No. Okay. December 15th, we have Bill of Rights Day. I thought this one was interesting. Don't really see a lot about that, but I think we're getting so close to Christmas, we often block out all these other things that might be going on. This one jumped out at me as I'm teaching government again this year. So definitely understand our rights, our basic rights as American citizens. And then we get to the ones that we all know and love. But December 24th, Christmas Eve on a Wednesday. I don't know about you, Mark, but I really like it when December Eve. That voice can't be blamed on that one. When Christmas Eve falls on a Wednesday. I don't know why. I just really like it.
I don't know if I have a preference for what day Christmas should be.
Yeah,
I've never been in a role where I was working on Christmas, and I've never been in a situation where, I mean, Christmas Eve was always a huge deal in my house because that was when my parents gave us our gifts, and we would get my grandparents gifts the next day. Yeah, it's always a good, whatever it is, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas Eve is good anytime, but just there's like, I don't know if it's like an OCD thing or just like it feels right. Like this is where it should be, and it should always be a Wednesday night with Christmas being Thursday. I don't know why.
Well,
but then, yes,
I feel like Christmas should. If I was thinking like the romantic Christmas, though, it's got to be a Sunday morning.
Right,
but not that I really would have loved that as a kid, having to rush through Christmas to get to church. But I feel like if it's supposed to be all that it should be, it would be a Sunday morning. But anyway,
you would think so. And there was a point in time where I was thinking, okay, as a child, Sunday is kind of like the worst day. Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
You want to celebrate Christmas at home.
Feel bad saying it, but completely true.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. But I will even say, at being on a pastoral staff, it's still almost the worst situation because you're like, who's going to show up today? And we don't want to think bad of people on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So like, it's just, it's still, even though, yes, I mean, we always have Easter. Easter being Sunday is definitely,
oh, well, sure, yeah,
obviously perfect.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Those are the
and then we
days.
get that. Well, now, and here's another hot. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I guess
Mhm.
this was something I always thought of. So you know the 12 days of Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are those 12 days leading up to Christmas? Or those 12 days start on Christmas and move past them?
I always thought they wound up on Christmas.
See, that's what I thought too. And then I saw something that said, well, the 12th day of Christmas is January 5th. I was
Oh
like, what?
no,
Wait a minute. I thought it was leading up to Christmas, not
you
going
can't
away. So
you
I don't
can't
know.
have too much Christmas, but at the same time, that's too much Christmas. I'm telling you. All right, our week-long observances. We just got the one National Hand Washing Awareness Week. Got to remember a National Hand Washing Awareness Week in the month of December.
Yeah,
So
December 5th through 11th.
I'll go straight forward into the month-long observances as well. So this is the month of giving. I'll tell you, I heard my first Salvation Army bell today.
Mm-hmm.
So today, getting there before Thanksgiving, and I don't know as I've ever heard that or thought to hear that before, or even thought about it, but I heard one today for the very first time.
Yeah, I heard mine last week. Yeah.
Last week. Okay, wow, that's
Yeah.
just me then. It's just me. Okay, so National Tie Month, which should die. There's no reason for that. I don't, unless
I
this is
just wanted to
referring to,
see your reaction to National Time
unless
Month.
this is referring to some other sort of tie. Um, I, we don't need to celebrate that, but it is National Volunteer Month as well, and we're going to talk a lot about the volunteerism which we would expect to be going on in our schools during this time. Okay, so I'll keep rolling right into. Remember, the way we're doing this now is broken up by those stakeholders we have. First up is our students. For our students, a major point: make sure that they've come off of the Thanksgiving break and go into the Christmas break focused, or doing all that you can to tell your faculty and staff this is real school. This is not fake school. This is not just sleep until the next break
Fake,
school. This is
fake
real
school.
school.
Not
Yeah,
real.
this is real school. Things are happening here. So whatever you have to do to keep them focused on their work, whatever. Again, the events are crazy. We know we'll have Christmas program practices and everything else, and Christmas parties, and clean out the fridge from Thanksgiving, get ready for Christmas. Like we'll do all of that, but we have to remember and we have to keep them focused as much as possible on work. That's what I would say. So
It's funny. My son, before we even got to Thanksgiving break, said to me, "Dad, we've had too many days off school. This is just too much. We need to be in school." I was like,
they feel it.
Thank you for expressing that."
They feel it. Absolutely. We as administrators make sure that we have our different days lined up because we're going to have our family schedule. Maybe we'll have our hobby schedule. And of course, we have our professional schedule. And this month, we got to make sure we have our Christmas chapels, our performances, if we're going to go to any other nonprofit meetings, or if the donor is having their dinner, and we got to make sure we're at that, showing face for the school. If we're supposed to have any lunch dates and things like that, we got to make sure our again we challenge you, and we do it every time we have this series. Lay out your month day by day ahead of time. We think you can do it. We think that there's at least something to put on that calendar every single day. Go do it. Go do it a month before. But specifically now, we don't really want to miss any of what would be high energy, high impact networking, show the school face times. Even things like by this point, if you're going to be a part of a Christmas parade or something, you're going to have a lot of help with that, getting it ready. Make sure that you've cleared out your schedule to be there for that night. I'll leave it there. Do also prepare your students for what's coming after December when they get back in school in January. If you have a J term for your upper school students, or just getting them focused on, hey, and remember, when we get back, just like now, we are focused on our work. So we've hit that enough, I guess. We would expect that there will be either small or larger acts of service completed in this month of volunteering, month of Christian giving and love. So get your students involved with that. Figure out a way. I'm sure that's pretty common amongst our schools. It's common amongst our secular brothers and sisters, so it better be common amongst us, most definitely, in this time. In your remembering of the Christmas concert, in your remembering of the Christmas programs, this is as good, as high, as awesome as energy as you're going to have amongst your people, most likely. So think about how you're going to use that, not lose that. figure out if this is when your survey should go out because you expect a good high energy. Get on it. Make sure they're ready to go because you want to catch your stakeholders, specifically your parents, when they are at that high time. Perhaps also if you have a letter that goes home, don't forget the teacher bonuses. If you have a letter that goes home about teacher bonuses or some kind of giving to the teachers or to the faculty and staff at this time, if it's from the outside, make sure you have those things written down as well. Matt, parents is a little bit smaller this month. Why don't you go ahead and hit a few of the points about parents?
Yeah, and some of the things we were sharing about students would apply to parents as well. When we talk about the programs, we talk about the concerts, the chapels, if you want to invite them into a Christmas chapel, get them involved. And as you were saying, this is a high energy time. This is a time where we are thinking of giving. And so, definitely want to engage your parents at this time, and they expect to be engaged at this time. Clear communication, as we were just saying, about the change in schedules, what's going to be coming after the break. I know we have some big things that come up in January, so we got to get those things out. We even start putting some of those things out in November, but definitely want to be talking in December about those things. Let's see here. When it comes to December, we were mentioning you might have concerts, you might have a community parade or something that you might be involved in. So this is a great time for parents to volunteer for different things. Even I know we do a Christmas party the last day before break. So make sure that you are engaging your parents. And if you don't have a PTA, making sure you're communicating, giving those opportunities out for parents to be able to come in and meet and be engaged within. The other things that often start in January, we just had a workshop on the principal's timeline, talking about when do you start your enrollment for the next year?
Oh, that's right. That's forgotten about that.
One individual said, we start that in December. And we were quite thrown off by that.
Yeah, I
because
did not have something
January.
to say. I had nothing to say in that moment. I was like, interesting. Why?
Yeah. So
thanks, Stuart.
We're talking about you, Stuart. You're the only one. No, maybe more of you are involved in that, but so December you might be putting out information for enrollment for the next year. If not enrollment, maybe at least letting them know that it's coming and what to expect and how to re-enroll. I'm assuming everybody's going to start with those that you have in-house first, and then opening it up to the outside. I'm just going to say the other thing so we can keep moving, but definitely want to be in just clear communication with your parents throughout this month. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Let them know the opportunities that they have. And just if you have opportunities to send out surveys, this would be a great time to do that.
It's also just remember that the negative is true there as well. This is a real bad time to make any kind of misstep with communication about. We'll kick the Christmas program around a little bit. If the K-5 mom thought because of some poor communication from a sideways teacher or something she thought she had read on social media that it started at 6:30 and it started at 6, you are cruising for a bruising that you could have precluded yourself from receiving if there was more consistent and more, as appropriate and consistent as widespread as possible communication about whatever it is that's going on. So just make sure it's definitely going to be positive. Use it for what is positive. If you mess up, it's worse messing up now than it is messing up at a different time with family and friends coming and all the rest of it. When we talk to our faculty, we need to remember that our faculty and staff are not in the same position as our students, hopefully, because professionally they are the ones who are going to support us in that drive. But they too need to be reminded, perhaps, that this is not school. This is school time in between them. December up to Christmas break, you need to be making sure that you are holding your students' feet to the fire. There needs to be really good communication amongst the faculty and staff as well because of the different things going on in December. There is basketball abundantly in December. There are more fine arts programs almost than at any other time of the year going on in December. There's going to be clubs that are having um, their Christmas parties earlier. There's faculty dinners that are going on earlier, so they'll be thinking about perhaps the faculty dinner as well. There's classroom parties to go. We need to help them be as focused as they can be, even with all the rest going on, and be very aware of where your faculty are personally as much as you can. Use as many resources you can to know where they are personally in the holiday time, because it could be a hard time for them personally because of loss or because of some issue with the holidays from the past. Know where they are, figure out where they are, support as you can, and when it's a high emotion time. So if the high emotions come, be ready with some extra chocolate. I don't know, extra whatever it is you need to support them with. Have that ready to go. We would say that the letters of intent should be going out by the end of December. You need to know. I was just having a conversation with somebody about this who is new to the game. If by the reopening of school you don't have a good handle on who you think is coming back, that's on you. You should be asking for letters. You should be asking for signatures on letters of intent so that you have them in hand, ready to review when you get back to school, if not just before that. Now, you don't need to rush it too far past that, but we suggest it's before the end of the second quarter. We suggest it comes and is dropped off in their boxes to receive, to review, to pray over, and give them time to pray over it. Don't give it to them the day before, ask for them the next day. Give them time to pray over it and think about it and make sure this is what they want to deal with you another time. But yeah, get those back and keep the board, keep those aware of who need to be aware of what's going on with who's going on, all the stakeholders in that way. Do start making sure that you are happy or your principals are happy with the pacing that's going on in the school right now. So that takes your review of the faculty and where they are in that scope and sequence, where they are in your objective set for the different subjects. So that'll take your review with them and your active review of them. Whatever it is that you need to do to find yourself where you should be and not find yourself where you shouldn't be. Again, just be aware of that with your faculty during this time because, again, of the emotions of the time, of what they're trying to cram into this time and all the rest of it. That's enough about the faculty, I think. Anything else to add to them? What do you want to say, Matt?
I think you hit it all, yeah. That was good.
All right. Go to
well
staff
done.
then. I appreciate that.
All right, so for our staff, our operational staff, it's winter time, and I just know I'm so thankful I don't live in the north. So thankful for that.
Amen.
But you've got facilities to take care of, especially if you got break coming up. Make sure the building is still operational by the time you get back. It's always a good thing to do. So make sure everything supplies is good. Your heating systems are good.
Pastor Binkley put those little water alarm sensors all throughout the buildings. They're digitized now. I wouldn't want that app on my phone because something might go off, and I would be in a straight panic forever.
Preparation for snow removal, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're ready for that. Also, kind of with the different events that you'd have going on. So just logistical things of making sure you've got traffic coming in. So make sure you're prepared for that. You will, I'm sure, be dealing with a lot of technology and maybe some extra printing or communications going out.
Good point.
So make sure you're stocked up, ready to go. As we were just talking about letters of intent, we might be preparing to update our HR files as well. Make sure it's all ready to go. Prepare also for that enrollment time, as we were mentioning earlier.
And when you say prepare, we're talking like clean them out,
clean them up,
especially the student files. If we're pulling them out for thinking of re-enrollment for any reason, and we're encouraging our staff, our office staff, let's make sure that the files we have in place are what they should be. Hopefully, we're not going into HR files and discovering anything at this point of the year.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'd be bad, but
And then there may be some deadlines. I know usually this hits around November, but there may be some like January 1st deadlines for early bird orders for maybe you got spring testing or different materials that you need in the spring. So just make sure that you are looking beyond even January of the things that you'll be needing, just to see if there's any way that you can save a little bit on the budget and make sure that you have your items there when needed, not having to be waiting for them. And yeah, we have on the last point here just financial report preparations. December seems to be.
We don't hit that every time, so
we don't hit that every time. But I think it's interesting that in this one in December, it's awfully important to highlight because we tend to disappear halfway through the month. And then we come back, and before we know it, January is halfway done, and we're like, did we ever finish December? What did we do? Did we spend any money? So just make sure you're ready to finish that all up.
I'll tell a story. This was, and hopefully it's not for your school, but this was the time at which there was some hand-wringing going on at a couple schools that I am intimately familiar with, because it was the December-January time that the coffers started to dwindle from what was to what would be. And there was a very clear track of, this is how much we expect to be bringing in by the end. This is what our financial system kicks back to us on the 15th and 30th. And this is what we can expect to bring in. This is when we expect to be done with payroll. Like, we were tracking those numbers extremely carefully, and as come December and January, a couple times over my career. So again, like you well said, check this, check it now, check it in December, because again, well said, we get back and it's January 15th before you know it, and it's time for the next financial report. I was speaking with another head of school recently who said that it is his every Wednesday practice to sit down with the CFO. But in his first year at a larger ministry, he was literally speaking with his CFO every single day.
I see it.
Not that it doesn't happen anyway. You're probably speaking with your financial head at some point throughout the day anyway. But a sit down, we are briefing one another. I need to be aware. I need to be able to speak the language, so on and so forth, every single day. So I hear you on that front. Well, yeah, financial reports cannot be overlooked. For family and friends, this will be an easy one. We're going to see more family and friends during this time of the year than we probably ever do. Look through your roster. This is a trick. Look through your roster. Try to name every kid that comes in the building. Try to be able to name the mom and the dad of that kid that come in the building. And then literally have the person around who's super good with names to remind you of who the grandparents and aunts and uncles are who probably will show up. Because if you shake a hand and have a name in your mouth ready to go for that person, it
means a lot.
Could mean dollar bills in your pocket. It literally could. It could mean so much to that person who doesn't remember anything about you, anything about the speech you made that night, anything about the plea you made for the faculty staff benefit. What they remembered is you called her Jeanette, and that's how you pronounced it. It's not Janet, it's Jeanette for her, and they may eat that up. This is a time, unlike almost any other in the school year, with the amount of people you have coming in the building, meeting, seeing, coming to parties. You might have parents that are willing to take off time to come to their kids' Christmas party who aren't willing to take off time any other part of the school year. Shake hands, rub shoulders, kiss the babies. This is the time. We're going to leave the rest of it there, but lots of volunteering, lots of bringing people in, lots of celebration. Engage with them in that way. As far as the community around us, I'll hit this next one too. As far as the community around us, make sure you are hosting your Christmas events you expect. Make sure you're a part of it. Don't let that awesome content die, though. This should be your marketing campaign. Should all be part of your marketing for December. Probably very well could have at least 2 to 3 weeks worth of consistent sending to the local newspaper. Hey, look what we did. Here's a write-up for you on what we accomplished. Here's a picture of what was accomplished here. And of course, your social media should be buzzing. But a newsletter, chock full of this stuff, all the recent things that was done. This is a time to be, and again, ministry business. We're celebrating what God's allowed us to do. 100% get that. It's also a business. Also want to make sure that we're sticking ourselves out there and showing, hey, we're practicing what we're preaching. Look at our students do this. Celebrate the Lord in them, absolutely, and then celebrate with us our ability to do this with these community partners. Check them out as you check us out, sort of thing. Perhaps it's also a possibility for you as a church school to make sure that your people are well aware of when your church services are coming up, the holiday services coming up in your church school, especially for those who may not be a part of a church family in the way you would hope for them to be. And if you have more than one school that makes up your population, well, make sure you get into their churches, or you're talking to those pastors. Send out a pastor appreciation letter during this time. I was speaking with a pastor at my gym. I go to a gym, and there is a pastor from a very significant and very old church in Salisbury who goes to that gym with me, and I see him often at the locker room. I'll sit with him in the sauna sometimes. We don't actually hold a lot of conversations, but we both know we go by Mark, the both of us, and he just, as he would, ask me how I was doing, and I in the gym, I'm not usually extremely talkative. I got headphones in, I'm focused. It is a little bit of me time. And I asked him how he was, and I said, I recognize this time's tough on pastors because it's tough on a lot of your people, and you're seeing as many of the stories of I can't afford, I need help. This was hard for me and my family. You're seeing as many of those stories as you are the Rudolph and the and the bright, airy, snowy Hallmark Christmas movie stories. You're seeing both. So even Pastor Reiner. We were just Thursday. We had the funeral of one of his wife and he were very early members of the church. So that will be with this family now for a long time coming. So we look at this time and we remember those things. But remembering the community around us, let's not forget our partner, the Herzog Foundation. We cannot forget the Herzog Foundation. In fact, the Herzog made an amazing social media post recently that really caught my eye because I'm a big Ravens fan. I know you kind of cheer for the Steelers when you care to, but the My Cause, My Cleats campaign that the NFL does, I'll read here. It's a player-led initiative where players, coaches, and staff wear custom-designed cleats to spotlight the causes and nonprofits that they care about most. And Harrison Butker is back in the news. Remember back a little bit, he spoke at a college graduation and made a lot of what some consider to be hairy, side-eyed comments about the roles of women in modernity, but comments that we would not take offense at by any stretch because they basically came straight out of the scriptures. Well, he is back on our radar as the Herzog Foundation is the cause for which he is wearing his cleats. He says, I'm passionate about the Christ-centered education of young people. The Stanley M. Herzog Charitable Foundation invests in a future where Christ-centered K-12 education is within reach for more families. By catalyzing and accelerating the growth of high-quality Christian schools, they support educators and leaders who are shaping both the minds and hearts. Their mission is to see the family strengthened, communities renewed, and culture transformed as more children encounter academic excellence grounded in faith. So you could, right now, at mcmc.rayzapp.com/Harrison Butker, go on and make a donation to the Stanley M. Herzog Charitable Foundation, and you'll see on that picture, it's almost as though the foundation's headquarters is a Christian school because it's got the Herzog flag and it's got the Christian flag flying right next to it. It's awesome. So feel free to do so, but we just recognize here our partner, the Herzog Foundation, and what they're doing, and we reiterate to you one more time, the Herzog Foundation Institute, this is the opportunity for you to pay for your travel and then to get your training covered by the Herzog Foundation Institute, by the Herzog Foundation for world-class leader and Christian educator training. So thank you, Herzog Foundation, for all that you do. We are thankful for you. We celebrate you in this time. So, Matt, anything else you want to say about the month of December?
Yeah, I would just say, December is one of the easiest times that is just busy. And it's easy to get caught up in the busy. But one of the things, a couple of years ago, and we were getting ready for a Christmas our Christmas concert, which again, it's just one of those, things that we just do, and it can become very ritualistic. Where I was not necessarily like, it was just brought up, and it wasn't something I thought about, of a parent who's just really struggling with the idea of, the balance between commercialism of Christmas versus what are we actually celebrating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we are not making it crystal clear as to what we are doing, then shame on us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, that I think is the big thing I would want to just emphasize as we are going through December. We ought to be shining as a light all the more brightly, because we don't do things because it's the way, it's what is expected. It's what everybody else does. It's what the world does. And the world celebrates during this time. They celebrate family. They celebrate giving. As we mentioned, it's monthly giving month. But if we're not drawing attention to the one who gave the most, and the most important gift that can be received, and we're not making big about that. And when I say that, I say we as building leaders, as administrators, leaders of our school, if we are doing that personally and then leading purposefully in that our school is doing that as well, then yeah, we're kind of missing the mark. So I wanted to make sure we just emphasized that.
Hopefully Mr. Adam Jeffers does not miss that mark there at Jefferson Christian Academy. We're sure that he doesn't. Mr. Adam Jeffers, thank you so much for being the administrator there at Jefferson Christian Academy on Big Stony Creek Road. It's the best road we've ever had on this episode. Not to mention
Mr. Jeffers of Jefferson Christian Academy. I mean, come on.
It makes sense. It's too perfect.
It's amazing.
They're from Ripplemead, Virginia. They're in Ripplemead, Virginia. This is just great. I'm gonna say this name far too often, but because of Matt's voice, I'm gonna pray for you now, Adam. Adam is a Virginia Tech, Liberty University graduate, and he has come to Jefferson Christian Academy, where he is the administrator. He does a little bit of teaching as well. Matt, you know that. We know that life. He was shouted out during the ODAX convention by his teachers. So Adam, your gift cards will be coming in the mail soon. And if you check out the episode previous to this one, you'll hear those teachers shout you out. Let's go ahead and pray for you now, Adam. Thank you for what you do. Father in heaven, we do pause to give thanks, especially during this week, especially during this Thanksgiving week, for all that you've done for us. Be with Mr. Jeffers now as he was celebrated by those who he supports. So we celebrate him. So we thank you for him. And we ask that you encourage him as he needs to be encouraged to pursue excellence for you in the upcoming month, which starts with this week. May he be refreshed in this week, as I'm sure he has a lot going on. But you know this as well, and you are the good Father. And through you, we can do all that you ask us to do. We love you. Amen. All right, Matt, that's December.
We did it.
We did it. All right, everybody, thanks for growing with us today.
We want to thank you for listening. We're honored that you spend this time with us each week. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources that really serve you as a Christian school leader. One of the best ways you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a review and sharing the podcast with other Christian school principals you're connected with. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join the conversation and share any posts that resonate with you. Every share makes a difference in helping more leaders find encouragement and practical tools. And remember, the podcast is just one way we help. We also love serving schools through speaking and workshops. Our keynotes and sessions are designed to give you actionable strategies you can take back to your team and implement right away. If you'd like more details, just send us an email at info@christianprinciplespodcast.com. We'd love to connect. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the Christian Principles Podcast.